Hello gay people in my phone, and welcome back once again to The Glass Closet. I'm your host, Nia, also known as Nia, and today, I think our guests need no introduction. This is Turtle with Hat, Izzy and Emma, content creator extraordinaires, YouTubers, and very, silly guys.
It's the turtle with hats in our hats.
Famously.
Hi.
Hey guys, today I'm pranking my alpha girlfriend. I have something to tell you.
Call me by my real name if you want to talk to me.
Grey Ash Steel Sword. My ex just texted me.
We listen, but we don't judge. When I was in high school and I had a crush on you, when I was showering, I used to lather myself up thickly with soap, and then I'd carve your initials into my skin until I was covered with your initials. What was I supposed to say to that?
I can't do it.
Howl!
No.
Howl! I want to hear it in the air. I want to hear it. I want it to make me shake. Do your mogging face.
Can you not roll your arms?
I'm Latina.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
This is crazy, this is silly, this is a movie.
This is amazing.
Our lives are like movies.
How would y'all describe, I'm sure everyone here knows who you are, but how would y'all describe who you are, what you do?
Oh, a description of us.
Well, I'm Emma.
And I'm Izzy. And together we unite as Turtle with Hat. And
we make videos.
True.
And we try to make people laugh sometimes.
yes, that's perfect description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we just like to laugh, and we like to have other people laugh.
Yes. That's so good.
Through seeing you in like the NYC lesbian queer scene, I feel like there's a lot of lore though. Like you're also both filmmakers, you're artists, right?
That's true. Yeah. We both studied film in school, and I feel like that comes through in our videos sometimes, but maybe not, but maybe one day it will a little bit more.
I see it.
But yeah,
I see the vision.
yeah, we do love film, and we try to integrate it into our content to the best of our ability. But that's like a fun part of it, is like creating and adding that side to us into the content.
I think what's interesting is that we actually never thought we would be in the whole social media world. And like Izzy said, we did study film, so initially I thought I would just be in the film industry, but I feel like this side quest of social media has really brought us places, and like it's really opened up a lot of doors, like right now.
Like this door right now.
These doors, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel really similarly. I also studied film, but traditionally thought I was going to be a filmmaker. Made a little silly TikTok video, now podcast. We don't know. Like, life takes you on a journey.
It takes you down many paths, and this path and this quest, the social media quest, is an amazing one that I'm really happy we're able to be a part of. I'm very grateful for it.
Me too.
Oh yeah, especially because I think you guys are innovators. Walk with me. Like, I feel like your content, and I want to ask about like how you feel about the different lanes, because I feel like on one end, y'all are like lesbians, no?
Yeah.
That. And like lesbian TikTok has its own heart and soul. You know, like there are the people that are really there in like the lesbian TikTok scene. And then I also feel like you guys are like comedians, and you do bits and you have sketches and you have a rapport and like almost stories you tell with your audience. And I feel like, do you ever feel like your audience, like there's the people who are just like, we love and like we want to see you guys make like relationship timeline videos.
Yeah.
And then the people who are there for like wolf bit, like
for the alpha. Yeah, the alpha and the cub and
and like the kitten. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I think you're right. People come to us for the reason of seeing us as a gay couple, and it's good representation online. And then I think people come to us because maybe we can make them laugh. And then I think there's people that come to us for the combination of those things, and we are like lesbians and we're making them laugh. So then it's a double whammy. And I feel like that's good sometimes, because sometimes like lesbian or gay content can have a serious path, because there's a lot to talk about being queer women and whatnot. But I like the lighthearted side that we're providing, just because I think it's fun to like take a step back and just be like, I'm just gonna relax, and these girls are lesbian, but that's not necessarily the most important part of the content, but it adds a layer to it, you know?
Right. I think it is interesting that as you described it, a lot of people know us from certain aspects or certain facets, but it's like at the end of the day that makes sense, because as a person, as people, we're always multifaceted. Like there's like so many different layers to all of us.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder if anyone just knows Izzy as Grey Ash Steel Sword.
Like maybe.
I hope they're watching.
Maybe.
That person, you know?
And I say, unleash your inner beast, my friends.
I said that.
No, yeah, but that's probably true.
Yeah.
And that's
makes
awesome.
sense. Yeah.
But they're probably missing Grey Ash, because Grey Ash hasn't been around in a
Hasn't
bit.
surfaced in a while.
Maybe soon, though.
No,
Maybe
because it's
soon.
winter, hibernation.
Oh, hibernation, that's so true.
I
Everyone
always
knows
forget.
that like werewolves hibernate during the winter.
I've
you
always
know?
said that. No, I'm always saying that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I really think that's what is so innovative and cool about your content. That you're not like, you're just, it's real. Not to be like, yeah, they're real as fuck. But like, it's just like, it is very just like, this is what we want to put out. Like, it's also like, I think super cool to be in like a couple dynamic, and I think there's a long loaded history of like couple content creators, and I think you guys are breaking the mold on just like, I don't know, like what you're like. I would say I'm curious about your inspirations, because you kind of comedy wise and kind of structurally remind me of like an Enya,
yeah.
but like also like you said, there's the layer of like, and we're queer and we're on TikTok and now we're doing YouTube, and it's just like, I feels like a very new type of content. It feels like very.
I appreciate you saying that, because I sometimes feel like it's hard not to categorize yourself with people that you already know or you're inspired by. But I appreciate you saying that you feel like it's a little bit different, because we are trying to go about it in our own way with our own personalities. But of course, like everyone's inspired by YouTubers that they've watched in the past, and like. I love Emergency Intercom, and we love like Sinjin Drowning and like all of those people vlogging and gaming and making silly videos. We like Slushy Noobs.
Yes. And also, I think since we were young, I was exposed to shows like, do you know Flight of the Conchords? It's like very like sitcom-y and very just like comedy shows-esque or Portlandia as like a young girl. And I think that kind of skit humor, that like almost like dry, I don't know, I was very much influenced by comedy since I was a young girl. And I feel like hearing that sometimes we are seen as comedians, it still surprises me.
Me too.
Because the way I function in this world, I think that to me, I'm like very, very serious in a way where it's like, yeah, I am just like, you know, living my life. Like I am just being me. Yeah. But it is like, I am so clumsy with that. I am so clumsy, and it's funny. Like how,
I know what you mean.
You know?
I think what adds to it is like when we come together, I think the dynamic between the two of us and how we interact is seen as funny, which is probably help. I think if I were alone in front of the camera, I wouldn't be nearly as funny as I am when I'm with Emma.
I agree.
Like I don't think I would be able to make like comedy content, because half the time we're like bouncing off each other just personality wise, which I think is why people are like, they're funny comedians, but we're also not necessarily always trying to like be comedic. It just kind of naturally happens with the way that we interact with each other.
Hell yeah. And I think that like that is so resonative. Like I think, I don't know if I told y'all this, because I ran into y'all at a party and I was like drunk and I was like, I turtle what? Stop. Like, I was saying when I turned 21, it was a day, y'all. It was sad. It was in my car. Like it's my birthday blues. I watched like a percentage. I watched a high percentage of your videos, and I was thinking about like, as a content creator, I was thinking about like, damn, why I fuck with are these bitches so heavy? Like, why,
Yeah.
why am I here? Why has it been 3 hours? And I think it's because I hear what you're saying in the way you bounce off each other and that dynamic. And what resonates is that, like, you feel that. Like, you feel like you guys are funnier together. And I think it's, like you're more than, like, the sum of your parts, like, together. Like, your collaboration as partners and collaborators is just, like, exceptional. Like, there's something really aspirational that I found. Because I think that's, like, where probably a lot of your queer followers feel seen, is that, like, damn, I wish I had, like, somebody who loved me this way, who I felt this way with, who I felt, like, funnier and smarter and just, like, more myself, like, with.
Yeah.
And, like, that's
comfort
so
in
special.
that.
Yeah, it's safe. Like, a safety.
A safe space. And we've heard that a lot. And it warms my heart to hear that you went to us in a dark time. I really do.
On your birthday,
I love hearing, like, that means a lot to me, because we've heard from a lot of people that we are able to provide that comforting space for them. And I think that more than anything, as we, like, are continuing this social media journey, that has very easily become one of the things of utmost importance to us, is providing a space for the queer community to laugh and feel comfortable and fill that empty silence of a void that you might have sometimes, because being queer and you're not around the right peers, you're isolated as hell. And that's a really scary place to be. And if you could just turn on a video, which I did when I was a kid, but it just wasn't like queer creators, really. I mean, it was like Joey Graceffa. He filled the void for me a little.
Yeah. Joey Graceffa.
Yeah. And he's gay.
Yeah.
But Ingrid Nelson.
Yeah.
And then she was gay. Gen X Penn.
It's interesting because it wasn't like, I don't think they were out in the beginning.
True. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it wasn't for that reason, but, you know, subconsciously we knew, because like you're watching people and then they were gay all of a sudden. I'm like, that checks out.
So am I.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm sure you've told this story like a million times, but like, what was the journey to queerness, to each other, to content?
Do you want to explain? Well, how you could explain half, and then I'll explain half.
Yes. We grew up in the same town together. We were always running in close circles, but not the same circle of friends.
Yeah.
In middle school and like that. In high school, we were in biology. And
say the line.
No, I restricted myself.
She loves saying, but we had chemistry. Somebody was making fun of Emma for saying that the other day.
So yeah, we were in biology, but we had chemistry. So that's the truth.
That just literally made me spit laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. We did have chemistry. Platonic chemistry.
Yeah. So our mutual friend was like, I want to make a film. And who were the biggest film nerds in this class? Oh, Izzy Emma. And then she was like, you too, please help me make this film. And then we started going to the library during lunch, during our free period, and just like brainstorming, sharing ideas. And it was the first time where I really connected with someone about doing work like that, being creative like that. And I think we just were having so much fun, to the point where when that film actually, our friend was like, no more, I don't want to do anymore. We just kept going to the library and working with each other and talking to each other.
Yeah, the project literally evaporated in thin air, but then we were still like, well, maybe we should continue talking about making films and continue texting. We would like text each other music we liked, or text each other films we liked and we were inspired by, and it was a connection through our deepest passion. And I feel like that really created a bond between us that was beyond even just this person's in my class and I'm going to be friends with them because we could laugh together, and more like our I don't even know why I was about to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Our souls, because of our passions, were literally intertwining. Because seriously, the cosmic connection I feel like I have with Emma is indescribable too. I just feel like we intertwined in those days and years, and we only got closer because of it. And I have never met somebody who just was always like, oh, you want to do that? Oh, you want to like mess around with the green screen? We could see what video we want to make. Or, oh, you want to make a music video this weekend? Let's do it. Our friend made a song. You want to make a film about a chair that like gets a haircut and like gets hit by a car? We made like a film about that. And it was just like the weirdest ideas. Emma was always like, come over, let's plan it, let's film it.
Let's do
and
it. Yeah.
That was like a really, really amazing friend to have
Mm-hmm.
and connection to have. And eventually, especially figuring out that I was gay, I was like, wait, Emma's also beautiful. It's like one day I like opened my eyes, I was like, wait, you're beautiful too. And then I developed a crush on Emma when we were younger, and but it wasn't ever like, I don't know, we just had these homoerotic moments, but we never really spoke about them, which I feel like is so, you know, you're 16 and gay core.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like literal
My life is a movie.
gay prevention pillows during slumber parties.
Yeah.
Vibe. Like we would always do that
Yeah.
to prevent any, you know, potential snuggling, right?
Which I actually think was, in the long run, beneficial that we were able to exist in that weird space that was like, we didn't talk about it, but we felt these feelings, because I think it exposed me to this, it was like my first experience of feeling like love.
Well, that's actually true.
Love.
Because it was intimate in a very non-sexual but romantic way, filled with like appreciation and just friendship.
And it wasn't named anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't acknowledged. And so it was just able to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so crazy, because we were just able to live through that. And it was great. I mean, eventually we kind of, during our senior year in college, we did have a couple years where we kind of didn't really talk. I didn't see Izzy for a couple years.
Yeah, it was
And
just
then
like one of those, you know, you diverge paths, you come back together. I actually think that sometimes that's a necessity in life, so you learn other things outside of that person. And it tells me a lot that we were so close, and then maybe we did split up a little bit, but we came back together. I think that is always a kind of, if you love something, set it free, and if it was meant to be, it'll come back to you. But it was an important time, because you learn a lot when you get older. Things don't always, you know, you just gotta like figure stuff out. But
And that was like beginning of college.
it was like the beginning of college, which is a transitional period anyway amongst friends and stuff, because you're away, you can't see each other as often. So it checks out and it makes sense. But I think we came back and we were even more ready for, not even necessarily more ready for, but we were ready to maybe delve a little deeper into what those romantic feelings for each other were, because we hadn't really explored it in high school. Maybe we kissed each other a couple times, but it was no discussion about it. Yeah.
That's really real though, because like your whole one dynamic is built off being creative collaborators, which I think a lot of other couple content creators don't necessarily have. Like, it's built on like, we have a relationship, let's talk about it. But it's like you've started as like, we're creatives and we see each other on a intellectual creative level, which is really dope. And then you have this like innate bond, and then you go and you like, you learn, and it's college and we're not school. And you find your way back together, and now TikTok.
And now TikTok and YouTube, like, we're doing exactly the same thing that we were doing back then, but now people can watch it. For better or for worse, whatever the heck we put out, but it is fun, because I mean, we made accounts in high school. We were like, this Instagram, we're gonna post like these weird photos, and hopefully they get popular. And sometimes Emma and I joke that we have like manifestation powers because of it, because we kind of manifested that career for us, and it came much later in life. Because we were posting on YouTube our short films and whatnot. They just, you know, were kind of under the radar, no one really watched them. They had like 100 views.
Y'all were warming up.
But yeah, we were warming up.
You were stretching.
But yeah, we truly have come full circle. And it's crazy to think that in a year from now, like 2026, we would have known each other for 10 years.
Wow.
Like, I feel like you're literally like a third of my life practically. Like, I do not.
Crazy.
You're a crazy important component to my whole being as a person.
I know, so are you to me. That's crazy, 10 years?
Yeah, literally. We met in like 2016.
Dang.
Wow. I mean, it's really so palpable. Like, the respect you have for each other is, like, not just, like, partners, girlfriends, but it's just, like, people. And I think that's really cool. And I also know, like, you know, what's it like navigating being in the public sphere, being, like, obviously associated with each other so intrinsically in your content, like, and how are ways you navigate the health of your relationship in, like, the public eye?
I think we keep a lot of, I know it seems like we have a lot out there, but really I feel like we do take a measure to have a lot of privacy about our relationship.
True.
Obviously our relationship is public, but we do keep a lot of things for ourselves, and I think it does feel good to have those things just for us, and it's a way for us to just like to separate our relationship and then the relationship we're willing to share
with the audience.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think that it's also something we're still learning-ish. Like, we know our boundaries as to what we want to share online. And they're kind of already established in our relationship. We're never it's never anything that intimately close to how we actually, how our actual dynamic in our relationship is like. But we were learning about it recently because there's just times in life where your relationship has to come first, and even though you have obligations, because this is like now our career to turn on a camera and stuff, we have really put the brakes on. Someone's not feeling a certain way, let's absolutely like put this to tomorrow or the next day and focus on what we need to do as a couple to make sure that we're ready to actually turn on the camera, because there have been times in like when our career is the ball is really rolling and we are like, oh, we should put out even more and even more, that we have recognized that the stress of doing that and also integrating our relationship to it can cause strain on your relationship. It's not a good thing to just be like, no, we got to film every single day for the rest of the week. It just kind of makes you stressed out. It makes you feel like there's no such thing as your relationship without the camera being on, and it's just something we've like completely stopped. We were like, it's actually just not as important. If one day one of us was like, I can't do this right now, I'm in a really bad place, we would legitimately stop recording for however long it took. It just doesn't matter to force the content. It's not that it's not as important as, you know, our relationship.
Yeah, I think we both are on the same page as the priority, what our priority is.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of just in the like working culture today and in society, it's really scary to combine your love and work.
Hell yeah.
And people are very, very it's scary for people to think about that. But
It's almost taboo.
yeah, it's almost taboo, and I do feel, weirdly, I feel very lucky that I'm able to actually do that, because then the work that I'm doing, it's with someone I love, and it's the things that I'm producing are things that make me happy and make other people happy, and I think that it is worth it to work through those kind of, you know, since it's our first time doing this, it's worth it to work through all of the challenges that come with it, because to me, I'm a person who I love to work. I love to always be doing something, to always be, you know, creating, inspired, or researching anything, and being able to do it with someone, it's just someone who I love is my dream. I'm living my dream. Like it's so rare.
True.
Yeah, it is a little rare. Sometimes you might hear like people just, their relationship with their work is more of an obligation sometimes, and that's real. And I feel very grateful that although I have an obligation to work, it's like with Emma, because we motivate each other a lot to do it and push each other to get it done. It's easier than being alone and heading and clocking in, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're in the public eye. You have like your best friend, your partner, your collaborator with you in the sphere. How is it navigating like people who might not respect your boundaries always, or even like looking yourselves up on Reddit? Like how do you, the criticism, like, what is the dark side of like being wearing the hats?
The the evil side of content creation. It's just, it's basically what you think. I mean, being online and putting your relationship out there, people create an image of your relationship and create a, they create this idea that they believe is what your true, real relationship is. So, yeah, one off day comes and Emma looks at me a certain way, I look at you a certain way. It's like they hate each other, right?
Yeah.
I think so long as you put on your little horse blinders to what you, I am even bad at this currently. I'm really bad at this. People will say one thing like I can't even think of an example, but basically something about the way I acted or maybe literally any critique, and I will sometimes take it to heart, and I'm working on not doing that because I know my intentions as a person, and we watch what we put out, and I know a lot of things could be misconstrued when all you see are a couple of videos. Like, it happens all the time. It's like Couch Guy. You remember Couch Guy? But honestly, Couch Guy was sus. But low-key, I'm being parasocial. But why was he on his phone and then he hid it? Do you remember Couch Guy?
I think I remember.
I've talked about Couch Guy on this podcast.
Have you really?
You talked to Couch Guy?
No, oh my god, getting Couch Guy involved.
Dude, that'd be
Couch Guy,
awesome.
come to Glass Closet. But I was talking about it in the context that, like, things like that, where one person, it becomes like, there's a narrative that emerges where it's like, Couch Guy hates his wife.
Yeah.
And it becomes like a proxy to have like a greater conversation in society about really, like, in that instance, like men and women and expectations in relationships.
Yeah,
you know?
that's so true.
And I feel like that happens all the time.
All the
On social
time.
media, when it's like, you know what? Maybe this is about you. Like, maybe
Yeah.
this isn't actually about this video I posted or like whatever
Yeah.
one interaction I just did that you're gonna look into.
It's so true, and it happens so often. Mostly relationship content. Like a woman will be like, I saw one where she was filming her bathroom and that it was messy, like her husband wasn't like cleaning up, and sometimes and then the comments like solidified that idea, like, oh, your husband doesn't clean up the bathroom, but then she defended him in like another video, and it's like there's a lot to be said there about people basically will say and do whatever they want on the internet. There's really, and if it,
It's
I
really
mean,
crazy.
if it really points to it,
crazy
then that
place.
makes sense. Like someone like Couch Guy. I'm just kidding. I don't know you, Couch Guy. But yeah, it happens. And I don't know how you handle it on a day-to-day basis, but I handle it by looking in the mirror and saying, you're amazing.
Tears rolling down.
Tears streaming. And
Okay.
it's going to be okay.
No, I'm sensitive. I am sensitive. I'm just
Okay.
sensitive.
It's okay. You have your hat on. It'll protect you.
I do feel like in life, it's such a weird thing because I think on the internet there is a lot of things that people will, what is it? Like people will get coddled and like cushioned, but then there's a side of the internet where they don't gap. There's
Yeah.
people just shred you to
That's
pieces.
so real.
And I do think it's these extremes. That is, it's scary. It's frightening a lot of the times. But I think honestly the solution is to know that I'm very secure in myself and I know myself. We know ourselves.
True.
We know what we're trying to do, our intentions, and to just grow a thick skin because honestly,
I'm sensitive as well.
people are gonna say what they're gonna say.
I'm sensitive as well. A lot of the time I think about going into this and just becoming more and more a part of the internet is it comes with that counterpart of being open to criticism and opinions that you don't necessarily want to hear, but they're going to be said anyway. That's part of the beauty of it, part of the dark side. Literally. But I don't know, it doesn't deter me from wanting to continue, because I do want to continue. What motivates me is the people that say, we need this content and keep doing what you're doing. So you just really just have to funnel it to the positive ones. And if every once in a while you glimpse at a comment that's like, Izzy looks like shit today. There, I said it. And I'm like, okay, and what? Maybe I did.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, it happens.
Like, that's something I'm really starting to reckon with now. Like, and I mean, like, I've been doing TikTok for 5 years, but like, whatever. Like, the podcast is something like where the whole point of it is to have like nuanced conversations and honestly promote giving people grace and like seeing the content creators we consume are just like people in general as like three-dimensional people and not just people who existed in the 30-second video that you just watched of them, you know? And, you know, I don't know if you saw, like, one of the episodes was not well received. That's not even true. The episode was well received, but one of the TikToks I posted was not well received. And it was right after having, like, one of, like, the most, like, well received episodes come out. And it was just, like, I was like, damn, this is a lesson. You know, like, this is a real, like, it can be real hot, real love, real rainbows one day, and then the next day it can be, like, we're going to get you. Like, that is, like, it's really cool. And I'm really, it's really also admirable that, and just dope that y'all have each other to see each other through, but.
True, I feel like that's hard to handle alone sometimes. I sometimes appreciate getting checked for something, like every once in a while. You know, if it's something like, Izzy, you look like S, then that's different. But if somebody says something and its opinion that was different from the one that I was saying and I actually respect it, it helps me grow as a person. And I absolutely appreciate criticism when it means that, like, I can take that in and really evaluate my character, because we're so part of the internet at this point. This is how I'm going to grow as a person. Especially with such a big audience. Like, you are bound to say something that maybe, like, you need to just take a step back and be like, okay, I should reevaluate myself on that.
Yeah, it's so easy to just like stay in your own world sometimes, that it is helpful to be able to get all this feedback and like hear everyone's voice.
Yeah, but I think that's so real, and it just sucks that sometimes people, it's unfortunate that sometimes people don't want to like embrace or understand that, I'm also listening. Like, you guys can, like, I feel that way about my content. Like, criticism is valuable. Criticism is, like, respectful. I love dialogue. I have a podcast. Like, talking to people. I think it's that line between criticism and moral condemnation and assumptions, and just also a bad faith belief that people, like, you guys or me or anyone online just, like, is like, and I said it. And I always will think that forever.
I think that's something to do with the culture that's been carried on the internet, is this idea that you can't grow, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure everyone grows in their life. I feel like it's, if there was like somebody like, it's like, it just reminds me of that Netflix documentary we were talking about, like, Don't F with the cats. Like, yeah, maybe that person actually needs to grow somewhere, like, behind bars. But
it's also interesting, though, every platform is different. One video can do so well on one, and then you pose it to another platform, and it gets...
It's especially Instagram.
Really?
Ew!
Okay, because the one video that I was getting ate up for on TikTok,
was that on TikTok?
It was TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Pitchforks, knives, but
maybe it's different for everyone then, because like, I don't know. TikTok, we're usually safe. We posted a popular TikTok onto our Instagram, and it was like, it was just
homophobic though.
Crazy
it was
homophobic.
Stuff.
But almost sometimes when I see crazy homophobic comments like that, I'm like, are you real?
Yeah.
Like, they weirdly don't make me that upset.
No, I know.
Like, what's the one trying to look like a boy doing? And I'm like, okay. I mean, thank you for like saying that.
But I think that's actually really real. And I felt that for a long time. Like, I think TikTok is so niche down that homophobes don't see my shit. Reels is just getting started, so they're kind of pushing, and things can go wherever.
Yes,
and so exactly. People where like there's just random bigots here, and it's like, I don't care. I'm gonna go to the dyke bar tonight. Like, all right, whatever. But I think the hardest thing for me is when there's like inter-communal criticism, and it's like, damn, but like that's cousin.
I know.
Cousin's mad at me right now.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like not to break your silence, but I know like honestly, you guys are really good at I don't think there's really any narratives, like negative narratives about you. Like you're real clean, you know? I like that. It's like, the one thing was when people, for no reason, completely unprompted, were like, "Is Izzy mask?"
Oh, I remember that.
Fighting.
Oh, they were really fighting
really
about
remember
if you're
that.
mask or
We
not.
called me mask. We said I was mask in a video, and they said, "You're not mask." And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because I was actually talking to I was talking to Emma about this the other day. I feel like I would even want to, I don't even know if I should say this because seriously, I just think people, I want to identify I feel comfortable being like, what?
Well, what if, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you're interrupting
No,
me.
I think with you especially, whatever you call yourself on the internet or name yourself or identify with is there are going to be people who will be upset.
Right.
Anything you try and say,
Right.
people have these standards that sometimes, I don't know, that maybe they see that you don't fulfill, but it doesn't make any sense to me because, you know, at the end of the day,
physical attributes that fall into a category. Like I have longer hair,
but like,
and therefore I'm right.
like, why are we fighting about you saying what you are? Like,
The reality is that, like, I don't understand the putting a label on someone. I feel like if it should be a consensus in the community that if somebody wants to identify themselves as mask, then that should really be okay. And I do think that sometimes we butt heads with each other, our own community, for reasons that I'm not entirely sure. I don't know why it's negative to call yourself a mask lesbian. I don't know why that would impact the community in a negative light. And it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Me calling myself a mask lesbian would not negatively impact the community. So the discourse that we have with each other within our community sometimes I actually find is really counterintuitive because at a time like this, the uniting, we are so powerful when we all, especially for a topic like this. I get other discourse, other topic, more serious topics, but for how people are personally identifying, we really should be opening our arms to each other and accepting each other because it's important. Like I want our community to come together and be strong, but sometimes
it's confusing.
Yeah.
It is a little confusing.
It was very confusing.
That was confusing to me. I think it was because I was wearing mesh. Masks can't wear mesh.
I forgot. There's no mesh.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing like that mesh top. I actually hate the way I look in that video too, which added to it. Like I hated my outfit too, which adds a whole nother layer. Remember that white, it was like summer, white mesh top. My hair was a little longer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is the mask in the room with us?
Damn.
Like
Yeah, I don't know.
At the time though, I didn't look at it and I was like, oh, this is making me like feel upset. I could cry. I was just really confused.
I was confused too.
I was just really confused.
It's also nobody's place to decide that, and I think like even to speak to what you're saying, because I talk about it a lot on this podcast, is like why that happens and like why there's so much infighting around labels, presentation, and identity in the lesbian community. And honestly, it's like the trickle bottom down of patriarchy and being like, wow, if you present this way or use these pronouns or do this as a lesbian, what the fuck does that mean for me? It's like, you can't, like, a lot of people in the community can't, like we can't group hug. We're not ready to group hug because I think we've been invalidated as lesbians for like the whole time we lived, right? Like the whole misogyny thing.
The whole misogyny thing.
I hate it when that happens, but yeah. But now it's like there's so much to protect.
Right.
And that's where gatekeeping comes from. There's something to protect, and like we kind of throw each other under the bus more than actually look up the ladder and start, you know.
I want to do a big gay community group hug.
Yeah.
Me too.
What's Wednesday group hug?
Yes, Woods Wednesday group hug, and everybody hugs, and then everybody, you know, comes together. and we all start stomping our foot and creating this vibration.
We
And
do.
the vibration is felt in Brooklyn, and they're like, "What? Wait, did anyone feel that earthquake?" And then it's no, it was the gay people, and we actually physically did something together.
The gay people did the earthquake.
Yeah, we did an earthquake. Actually, that might add to that whole conspiracy that like
gay people
are like
climate,
like are controlling the climate.
No, I think we just made that up.
I think I just created a conspiracy.
No, everyone's just blaming gay people for everything nowadays.
That's so true, preach.
Damn, it's raining. Oh, I hate gay people.
Yeah.
Damn.
Tears.
Seriously.
It's the tears from the people above because gay people exist.
That's what they would say. They're like, damn, I hate gay people because I fell today on the ground. I fell.
Yeah, that's so true. I usually do that when I trip. I'm like, gay people. The gay people.
It's a real gay agenda, honestly. Control the weather and make people fall.
Yes.
I'm also going to ask you guys, because I've mentioned the Woods Wednesday so many times on this podcast, and you've been known to attend. How would you define or contextualize the Woods Wednesday?
It's hosted at, is it the Woods?
It is the Woods. It is a bar called the Woods.
It's a bar called the Woods.
We're going to the forest.
But it's only on Wednesday. It's the, lesbian night. And, it's pretty good. It's pretty exciting. It's a great time. People are a little... It can get some nights a little
just like overstimulating.
crazy.
All gay spaces deserve to be filled to the brim with people that feel comfortable because they're around a bunch of lesbians, and that's what the Woods does. There's plenty of things to be said about them and how we can continue improving those events and whatnot, and continue to just make it a great space for people to come together. But at its core, at least like we've started somewhere where there's a bunch of events being hosted by queer people that people feel comfortable going to. I think it's important to have that.
I know, it's really important.
There's
And
work to be
honestly,
done. We gotta
I
work on
agree.
everything. Like that's how everything starts, though.
I know. I mean, sometimes I just, when I'm at these events or I'm out, out on the town, and we usually go to, gay spaces, lesbian spaces, it's like I take a look around and I'm like, dang, these are all lesbians.
Yeah.
Like, it feels awesome, honestly. I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
Growing up in, our town, that's why I feel like the city and Brooklyn is, it's incredible, honestly.
I'm the type where I also only really go to gay events, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
If there's somewhere to be, I'm typically there, famously. And I think because when we started talking about the Woods, y'all made it wholesome. I was gonna be like, the Woods is the closest thing to lesbian grinder.
Well, it could be.
It's a battleground, but you're right. It really is about it is so dope that there is this space. And I mostly go to the Woods to see my friends, and it's like a meeting ground. It's like the town square. It's the lesbian town square every week, and that's so appreciative. I'm so grateful for it. You're right. And there's this time I can't talk about this on YouTube. I don't smoke weed. True story.
Me either. I don't
neither.
smoke weed. We get high allegations all the time.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. They're like, they're high as hell. I've never
On
smoked
life.
weed. Literally on life.
But I went to out and about, and I had accidentally drank a THC beverage.
Oh my god, that's
that
scary.
I thought was a twisted tea.
That's scary,
So it
actually.
sucked. But I walked in and I can't talk, so I'm silent. Sorry, y'all. I'm hey, here's my ticket. But I walk into the dance floor on my THC, and I'm like, whoa, yo, wait. This is a movie.
Wait, so it's positive?
Eventually, because I was once I don't have to worry about talking and being nervous to
You're
say
like,
stuff,
okay.
I was just this is a room full of lesbians.
Yes.
I can't believe this is my life. Wow.
Yes.
The sun is shining. It's 10.
Honestly, Em and I don't even go out that much, but we like to go to the events because we get to meet some people, we get to talk, actually socialize instead of just being hunched over in my room and playing Minecraft with each other, which is kind of actually exactly what we do regularly. And it helps us we're actually really awkward when we go to social events.
We're actually really awkward in real life.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes
It's almost
hard.
become controversial.
Yes.
There's discourse about being awkward.
Because it might be offensive how awkward we are.
I know, well, it comes across as it, but that's literally wholeheartedly never our intention. I think we just are awkward, and sometimes it's seen as
it's like too painful.
What's the word? Rude, maybe.
Oh yeah, rude.
Maybe because like we can't find the words to say. But that's real. Like we are awkward. If we play it up, that's because we're trying to maybe embrace it in a positive and comedic way, but we at our core are so awkward that when we, and Emma and I just go to an event and it's just us two and we didn't invite any of my roommates or anyone, we will stand in the corner the entire night. And that's not a joke. We're not really talking to people, going up to people, we just like watch.
Yeah, but when we're in like a group, we feel more confident. That's when we could really start to thrive.
True.
Yeah, but when it's just us, it's a disaster, dude.
It's literally one night I remember we just stood in the corner the entire night and then left.
It's actually crazy.
That actually happened recently again too. Remember?
I know.
We had one beer. We were like facing each other. We were like moving a little bit to the music. And we're like, actually, after this beer, should we just head out? And we left in like 45
it's like
minutes.
We're barely talking to each other.
We were like barely. We were like staring at each other,
like, looking at each other in the eyes, and we're like communicating.
Like
through
45
eyes.
minutes. We actually went on. It was like a bar that has like an electric bull, like that you ride. So then we went on the electric bull, like got hurt, and then like left.
Bro,
like it whipped me off, and then like hit my arm, and like then we left.
And then we were like, guys, we can't.
Last night was a movie, short film.
Literally short film.
I'd be remiss to not ask the big question on everyone's mind, like, why turtle with hat?
Oh, that's a really good question. But I fear the answer is kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, you could say it.
Well,
that's awesome.
a long time ago when I got TikTok, because I was a little apprehensive to download TikTok for some reason. This was like 2020. Because it was dancing. I don't like dancing.
And I had it, and I was doing the dancing.
And I was being so annoying. I was like, I'm never gonna get TikTok. And I was just trying to be like someone who like never used it. But then I made an account, and I was at my grandma's house, and she has like a little soap dish that's the turtle with the bonnet on. And I was like, it's a turtle with a hat on it. And then that was my personal account. I just called it Turtle with Hat. And then Emma and I combined forces, and then we united. We just called each other Turtle with Hat, which is kind of fun. I like Turtle with Hat. And it reminds me of my grandma. And that's always sweet because that's a good, she's a good core to the name because she's like an angel to me. So it's nice.
God, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I love turtles. I love hats.
And now we wear hats.
Fuck yeah.
And we love freaking turtles.
Like, it's the brand.
It's the brand.
I wasn't sure about the fedora, but like, I think you
But she looks amazing, right?
I just didn't want to be a Discord mod.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Discord mods.
Chic. They're gonna make that a category on Dress to Impress now. Just because you just said that, Discord mod.
They gotta get on that.
Continue running for a fedora.
And make sure that this gets clipped so that you get the credit for it.
Izzy.
That's my shit right there.
But any projects you want to promote? Anything you want to leave us
that's
with?
a good question.
Our YouTube?
Oh yeah, our YouTube channel is Turtle with Hat, and this year we're gonna release Emma's thesis film, Girl Dinner, and do a premiere in the city. So we'll be throwing an event where we'll talk a little bit, show the film, and it'll be a good opportunity.
And our merch.
And our merch.
We'll send you some of our merch.
Yeah, oh my god, I would eat if you could wear it.
And we should all spend your birthday together.
Yes.
I would love that.
That would be awesome, no?
Yes, because let's rewrite history. Because you had the birthday blues.
I did.
But now we're gonna like.
We could do it in person.
Yes, that's awesome.
My birthday this year is on a Wednesday.
We're going to the woods.
It's faded, y'all.
And we're gonna do a group hug and earthquake. Yes. That'll be awesome. No, seriously.
That's my dream.
I'm gonna save the date in my calendar for real.
Seriously.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here.
Oh,
This
of
was
course.
enlightening and incredible. And thank y'all so much for watching. I don't know when the next one of these is coming out, but it will. Just stay tuned, subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and thank you. This was very fun.
Yay!